Dear students, today we are going to discuss about formal charge and the molecules which are not obeying the octet rule. Right? So, two concepts we are going to discuss today. First one, formal charge. So last class we discussed about Lewis dot structure. After drawing the Lewis dot structure, we are going to calculate formal charge. So first we take carbon dioxide as an example, right? So for the molecule carbon dioxide, we may draw Lewis dot structure. So in Lewis dot structure, we have the steps. Totally we have 5 steps. What is the first step? According to Lewis dot structure method, first step will be we have to draw skeletal structure. So carbon can be in the middle portion. Just mention oxygen in these two positions. So this is a skeletal structure of carbon dioxide. Then step number 2, calculate valence electrons of the molecule. So we are going to find total valence electron of the molecule. For each atom we know the valence electron. For oxygen, valence electron 6, carbon 4, oxygen 6. Okay. So totally we have 16 electrons. Third step, the 16 electrons will be placed as covalent bond, right? So you have to draw the possible covalent bonds between the atoms in the molecule. So how much possibilities are there? Only 2. Right? So 2 covalent bonds can be drawn between the atoms carbon as well as oxygen. So what will be the remaining electrons? Because one covalent bond contains 2 electrons. So totally 4 electrons are utilized for making 2 covalent bond. So shared pair of electrons 2. Out of 16 electrons, 4 electrons are placed as covalent bond. Remaining we will have how much electron? 12 electrons. Right? So in step number 4, the remaining electrons will be placed as lone pair of electrons on more electronegative atoms. We have carbon as well as oxygen. Comparatively, oxygen has more electronegativity. So the remaining 12 electrons will be placed as lone pair of electrons on oxygen. So just to place the electrons, totally 12 electrons. We place the 12 electrons as lone pair of electrons on oxygen in order to obey the octet rule. So it has to satisfy octet rule. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So all the 12 electrons are placed. So step number 4, remaining valence electrons are placed as lone pair of electrons on more electronegative atom. So here comparing carbon, oxygen is a more electronegative atom. So all the 12 electrons are placed as 6 lone pair of electrons. Each oxygen has 3 lone pair of electrons. What is number 5? Step number 5. We have to check whether all the atoms in the molecule are obeying octet rule or not. So first consider this oxygen. Now the oxygen is obeying the octet rule, right? So this covalent bond contains 2 electrons. So as a total, around the oxygen 8 electrons present. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Totally 8 electrons present. So oxygen is stabilized. Now this oxygen, for this covalent bond 2 electrons. Around this oxygen 8 electrons present. 2, 4, 6, 8. So this oxygen is also stabilized. What about carbon? Around carbon there are only 4 electrons. So now carbon is not obeying the octet rule. 2 oxygen atoms are obeying the octet rule. but carbon is not obeying the octet rule. So that what we have to do? We have to move a lone pair of electron as a double bond. Okay. So to make the carbon as a stabilized one, that means carbon has to follow octet rule. For that, we are going to shift a lone pair of electron as a double bond. So first possibility, we have first possible structure. So consider the carbon dioxide molecule. The central atom carbon has only 4 electrons, so it needs 4 more electrons to be stabilized or to obey octet rule. So one pair of electron on this carbon is made as double bond. In the same way, one more lone pair of electron on this oxygen is made as double bond. Right. So from first oxygen, one lone pair of electron is made as double bond, as well as from the second oxygen, one more lone pair of electron is made as double bond. So now count how much electrons present around carbon. So totally 8. Now carbon is stabilized. For each covalent bond, 2 electrons, totally 4 covalent bonds present, so 8 electrons. So around carbon, 8 electrons present. Now this is following octet rule. So carbon is stabilized. And what about remaining oxygen atoms? They are also stabilized. 2, 4, 6, 8. This oxygen, 2, 4, 6, 8. So when we have the structure like this, that means when we move lone pair of electron as a double bond, the molecule is stabilized, it obeys octet rule. So this is possible structure 1. Then take possible structure 2. Carbon is in the middle position. Both sides we have oxygen. Consider this one. So in first oxygen, 2 lone pair of electrons. Right? From first oxygen, 2 lone pair of electrons are moved as a covalent bond. So already a single covalent bond is present. Due to the movement of 2 lone pair of electrons from first oxygen, there is a formation of triple bond. Right? In the second oxygen, we won't do anything. We take it as such. Now check whether all the atoms in the carbon dioxide molecule are obeying octet rule or not. Yes, all the atoms are obeying. Take first oxygen. First oxygen is obeying the octet rule. Around oxygen, 8 electrons present. 2, 4, 6, 8. In the same manner, oxygen has 8 electrons around it. 2, 4, 6, 8. And the second oxygen also having the 8 electrons. 2, 4, 6, 8. So these two are possible structures of carbon dioxide. Right? So today we are going to discuss about formal charge. Before discussing about formal charge, we take carbon dioxide as an example. Simply we write the formula as CO2. Carbon is bonded with 2 oxygen atoms. So when we take the carbon dioxide molecule, we adapt Lewis dot structure based on the 5 steps. First step is drawing the skeletal structure. This is the skeletal structure of carbon dioxide. Second step is the calculation of total number of valence electrons in the molecule. For oxygen, 6 electrons. For carbon, 4. As a total in carbon dioxide molecule, 16 electrons present. Third step, these valence electrons will be placed as covalent bond. We know for each covalent bond, 2 electrons will be there. So out of 16 electrons, we utilized only 4 electrons to make 2 covalent bonds. So this is third step. We have made 2 covalent bonds using 4 valence electrons. Remaining 12 electrons will be there. In fourth step, The 12 electrons will be placed as a lone pair of electrons on more electronegative atom. Comparing carbon, oxygen is more electronegative atom. So all the 12 electrons will be placed as lone pair of electron on oxygen atoms. 6 electrons will be placed in first oxygen as 3 lone pair of electron. Remaining 6 electrons will be placed as 3 lone pair of electron on second oxygen. So after placing all these valence electrons as lone pair of electron, in step number 5, we have to check whether all the atoms in the molecule are obeying octet rule or not. So consider first oxygen, around it 8 electrons present. Second oxygen, 8 electrons present around oxygen. So both oxygen atoms are stabilized, but carbon is not stabilized, it is not obeying octet rule. Around carbon, just 4 electrons present. So this is not the correct Lewis dot structure. So Lewis dot structure means all the atoms have to obey octet rule. So that we are going to shift lone pair of electron as a multiple bond, right? So this is first possibility, this is second possibility. So in two way we may shift lone pair of electron to make carbon as a stabilized one, to make carbon to obey octet rule. So in the first possibility, from both oxygen atoms, one lone pair of electron is made as a double bonder. So after forming this structure, we check all the atoms, they are all obeying octet rule. So this is a stabilized one. One more possibility, instead of shifting a lone pair of electron from both oxygen atoms, from first oxygen atom, two lone pair of electron is shifted and which is made as multiple bond. So two pi bond is formed, or simply we may say between oxygen and carbon a triple bond exists. Whatever may be the bond, you just check whether all the atoms are obeying octet rule or not. So in second possible structure, first oxygen is stabilized having 8 electrons. Same way second oxygen is also stabilized, and the middle atom, central atom, carbon is also stabilized. Okay, now which will be the preferred structure? That is the question. We already completed Lewis dot structure. Based on the 5 steps, 2 possible structures have arrived. Now the question is, out of these 2 possible structures, which will be the preferred one? Which will be the predominant? Which will be the most favorable one? That is the question. So why we have to study formal charge? So the method formal charge is used to identify the most favorable or best preferable structure. So out of these 2, one will be the preferred one. That should be calculated, or that should be found based on formal charge value. Okay. So after drawing the Lewis dot structure, if more than one structure is possible, from which we can identify which will be the more predominant or favorable one. For that we have a method called formal charge method. So this is a 3 mark question. What is formal charge? And write the formula. So which is defined as difference in the number of valence electrons of an atom in isolated state and number of electrons assigned to an atom in Lewis dot structure. So for this definition, 2 mark will be given. Then for the formula, 1 mark will be allotted. So this is a 3 mark question. So formal charge is defined as the difference between the number of electrons of an atom in isolated state and number of electrons assigned to an atom in Lewis dot structure. So formal charge formula is equal to NV minus NL plus NB by 2. For this formula, 1 mark will be given. So formal charge is the difference between number of valence electrons of an atom in an isolated state and number of electrons assigned to an atom in Lewis dot structure. So mathematically we express formal charge as NV minus NL plus NB by 2, and we should know what these 3 terms represent. NV represents number of valence electrons of an atom in isolated state. Isolated state means which is present as a separate atom, single atom. NL represents number of electrons present as lone pair of electron. 2 lone pair of electron means totally how much electron? 4 electron. 3 lone pair of electron, that means 3 pair which is present in the form of lone pair. So 6 electrons. So 5 lone pair means 10 electrons. So NL represents number of electrons present as lone pair. NB represents number of electrons present as bonded pair or shared pair. Right? So based on this formula, we are going to calculate formal charge for the atoms in the Lewis dot structure. For a molecule, we draw a Lewis dot structure. For the atoms in the Lewis dot structure, we are going to calculate formal charge. From the formal charge value, we can identify which structure will be the preferred structure. So now consider carbon dioxide. For the carbon dioxide, we have drawn already 2 possible Lewis dot structures. We consider first structure. So this is structure number 1. So this is stabilized structure. Around each atom, 8 electrons will be there. 2, 4, 6, 8. For carbon, 2, 4, 6, 8. For the second oxygen, 2, 4, 6, 8. So all the atoms are stabilized. So this is first possible structure, Lewis structure for carbon dioxide. Now calculate formal charge. For each atom you have to calculate. Okay. Now, formal charge on carbon. Now we are going to calculate formal charge on the central atom carbon. So formal charge is equal to NV minus NL plus NB by 2. That is a formula. So what is NV? Number of valence electrons of carbon atom in isolated state. So consider carbon. Atomic number of carbon is 6. Electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. So this is the electronic configuration of carbon in isolated state. So outermost cell has 4 electrons. Right. So NV value 4. Minus NL, number of electrons present as lone pair. Around carbon we don't have any lone pair. So NL value 0 plus NB divided by 2. NB means number of electrons present as bonded pair or shared pair of electron. So around carbon 4 covalent bond present. Right. So for this covalent bond 2 electron. This covalent bond 2 electron. This covalent bond 2 electron, and remaining one more covalent bond has 2 electron. So totally how much electrons are present in the form of bonded pair? Totally 8 electrons. So totally 8 electrons present as bonded pair of electrons around carbon. So 4 minus 4, 0. So formal charge on carbon is 0. Next, formal charge on oxygen. Formal charge is equal to NV minus NL plus NB by 2. So number of valence electrons of oxygen. Atomic number 8. Electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. So outermost cell contains 6 electrons. So NV value 6. number of electrons present as a lone pair, 2 lone pair of electrons, right? So totally 4 electrons present as lone pair of electron, right? So around this oxygen, 2 lone pair of electrons. That means totally 4 electrons are present in the form of lone pair. Then Nb represents number of electrons present as bonded pair. So here totally 4 electrons. So Nl 4 electrons present as lone pair, 4 electrons present as bonded pair. So 6 minus 6, 0. So formal charge on oxygen 0, and this is also similar oxygen. Formal charge will be 0, right? So both these oxygen atoms are similar. They are making a double bond with central atom carbon. So formal charge value will be 0. So using formal charge method, we have calculated formal charge of carbon as well as oxygen, right? So for the first possible structure, all the 3 atoms are having what charge? Formal charge 0. Next, take second possible Lewis dot structure, right? So we have one more possibility, isn't it? So this is second possible Lewis dot structure for the molecule carbon dioxide. For this also we may calculate formal charge. So formal charge on carbon Fc is equal to Nv minus Nl plus Nb by 2. As we already calculated, number of valence electrons on carbon is 4 in isolated state, minus number of electrons present as lone pair. So here we don't have any lone pair, 0, plus number of electrons present as bonded pair. So totally 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. So 8 electrons present as bonded pair of electron divided by 2. So 4 minus 4, 0. Formal charge on carbon 0. Then formal charge on oxygen, which is bonded with carbon by a triple bond. So this is called triply bonded oxygen. Formal charge on triply bonded oxygen. So now the oxygen is bonded with the carbon by a triple bond. This oxygen is bonded with carbon by a single bond. So first we consider this triply bonded oxygen with the carbon. So formal charge is equal to Nb minus Nl plus Nb by 2. Number of valence electrons of oxygen in its isolated state 6. Number of electrons present as lone pair, only 2 electrons. Only 2 electrons present as lone pair of electron. What about bonded pair of electron? 2, 4, 6. So 6 electrons present as bonded pair of electron. So 6 minus 5, only 1. So formal charge on triply bonded oxygen is plus 1. Next, formal charge on singly bonded oxygen. That means this oxygen is bonded with the oxygen by a single bond. So the same formula. Calculate number of electrons present as lone pair. 2, 4, 6. So here totally 6 electrons present as lone pair. Nb value is same. So in its isolated state, oxygen has valence electron 6 in the second cell. So number of electrons present as lone pair 6. How much bonded pair? Only 1 bonded pair. So 2 electrons present as bonded pair of electron. So 6 electrons present as lone pair, 2 electrons present as one bonded pair of electron. So formal charge 6 minus 7 minus 1. So using the formal charge calculation method, we have found formal charge of each atom in second possible Lewis dot structure. For triply bonded oxygen, formal charge +1. For the central atom carbon, 0. For the singly bonded oxygen with the carbon, it's called -1. So all the formal charge values we have calculated. Now what is the major question? With the help of formal charge, how will you find the preferred structure, which will be the best favorable structure? For that we have some guidelines, right? So we have some guidelines based on formal charge value to fix the preferred structure. First one, if more than one possible Lewis dot structures available, the structure with 0 formal charge will be the preferred one. This is first guideline. So this is 3 more questions. Mention the guidelines to fix the preferred Lewis dot structure. So if you have more than one possible Lewis dot structure, the structure with formal charge 0 will be considered as a preferred structure. Number 2, right? So you have more than one possible structure in which the Lewis dot structure with the formal charge as a low value will be the preferred structure. So 2 possible structures are there. One will have low formal charge, another will have high formal charge. So the structure with low formal charge is considered as the favorable structure, preferred structure. Third one, if you have more than one structure, so if more than one structure is possible, if the formal charge value is negative, this negative is present on more electronegative atom means that structure will be the preferred structure. So you have 2 possible structure. If the more electronegative atom has a negative formal charge means the structure will be the preferred structure. So these 3 are the guidelines to fix which structure will be the favorable structure. If the formal charge of a structure is 0, then this will be the preferred one. Comparing the other structures, if a structure with a very low formal charge, that will be considered as preferred one. So if more than one structure is available, the more electronegative atom has negative formal charge, that will be the preferred structure. So based on these guidelines, you can find which will be the preferred structure in carbon dioxide. Right? Define which is the preferred structure in carbon dioxide. So we have already drawn 2 possible Lewis dot structures for carbon dioxide. Formal charge value is already calculated. So in first possible structure, formal charge value is 0. Second possible structure, formal charge value, triply bonded oxygen +1, carbon 0, singly bonded oxygen -1. So out of these 2, which will be the preferred structure? So according to guidelines, the structure with 0 formal charge is the best favorable or preferred structure, right? So this is the application of formal charge. Okay. So with this we complete formal charge concept. Next we move into molecules which won't obey octet rule. Right? Some molecules will not obey octet rule, but that will be stable in nature. So we are going to discuss this. So usually 3 type of molecules will not obey octet rule. One by one we will discuss. First, the molecules with central atom is having less electrons. So they are electron diffusion in nature. So molecules with electron deficient central atom. So some molecules in which the central atom will have less number of electron. So electron will not be 8, less than 8 electrons will be there, but it will be stabilized. It won't obey octet rule, but will be stabilized. So this can be explained by considering boron trifluoride as an example. So this is a 5-mark question. Explain the molecules which will not obey octet rule. Example, boron trifluoride. For this boron trifluoride, you just derive Lewis dot structure. So what is the first step in Lewis dot structure? We draw skeletal structure. What is second step? We have to calculate total number of valence electrons. For fluorine valence electron 7. Totally we have 3 fluorine atoms. What about boron? Boron atomic number 5, 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. So valence electrons 3, right? So totally 24 electrons. What about third step? Place the electrons as a covalent bond. So what are the possible covalent bonds? 1, 2, 3. 3 covalent bonds possible. Out of 24 electrons, only how much electrons are placed as covalent bond? Only 6. For each covalent bond, 2 electrons. So only 6 electrons are placed as covalent bond. Remaining how much will be there? 18. Right. So in fourth step, place the remaining 18 electrons as lone pair of electron on more electronegative atom. Which will be the more electronegative atom here? Comparing the boron, fluorine is more electronegative in nature. So just place all the 18 electrons as lone pair of electron on fluorine. Okay. So for each fluorine atom, 6 electrons are placed as lone pair. So 6 plus 6 plus 6, totally 18 electrons. So all the 18 electrons are placed as lone pair of electrons on fluorine atoms, which is more electronegative in nature. Now what will be the fifth step? In fifth step, we have to check each atom whether they are obeying octet rule or not. So now all the fluorine atoms are obeying the octet rule. Around each fluorine, 8 electrons will be there. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. So all the fluorine atoms are stabilized. What about central atom boron? It is not stabilized. So only 3 covalent bonds present around boron. So 2, 4, 6. Only 6 electrons present. So fluorine atoms are following the octet rule, but the central atom boron is not obeying the octet rule. Right? So boron trifluoride is a molecule which is the central atom boron is electron diffusion in nature, so which is not obeying the octet rule. Okay, next one. If the central atom is not obeying the octet rule, means what usually we will do in a Lewis dot structure. In the fifth step, we check whether all the atoms are obeying octet rule or not. If the central atom is not obeying the octet rule, automatically what we will do? We will shift one lone pair of electron into multiple bond, like a double bond or a triple bond. The same method can be adopted here also. So only 6 electrons present, so that to be a stable one, this lone pair of electron is moved as a double bond. So you can have a double bond here, right? So now what about boron? Around boron, 8 electrons present. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. So this is general representation of boron trifluoride using Lewis structure concept. So we have drawn Lewis structure or Lewis dot structure. Now we have to prove that this is a stable structure or a favorable structure. How can we prove this as a stable structure? We will take formal charge. So what is the formal charge of atoms in the molecule, right? So if lone pair of electron is not transferred, what will be the structure? If lone pair of electrons are not transferred, this will be the structure. To attain the 8 electrons around boron, 1 electron is shifted. Now we are going to calculate formal charge. Now first consider this one. We may calculate formal charge. Okay. Formal charge on central boron. Formal charge on the central atom boron. Nb minus Nl plus Nb by 2 is the formula. Number of valence electrons 3. Right? 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. So second cell has 3 electrons. Valence electron 3. Next. Number of electrons present as a lone pair, no, 0. Plus number of electrons present as bonded pair, 2, 4, 6. 3 covalent bond, for each covalent bond 2 electrons. So totally 6 electrons present as bonded pair of electron. So 3 minus 3, 0. What is the formal charge on boron? 0. Next, calculate the formal charge on fluorine. All the 3 fluorine atoms are similar. Formal charge on fluorine is what? For fluorine, valence electron 7. Number of electrons present as lone pair, how much? For each fluorine, 6. Right? So number of electrons present as lone pair, 6. 6 electrons are present in the form of 3 lone pair on each fluorine, plus number of electrons present as bonded pair. Here, only 1 covalent bond. So 2 electrons present as only 1 bonded pair. Right. So valence electron of fluorine 7. 6 electrons present as 3 lone pair of electron on fluorine. Only 1 covalent bond is there. So 2 electrons present as bonded pair of electron. So 7 minus 7, 0. For all the fluorine atoms, possible formal charge value is 0. Now consider this structure. Boron as usual, same, isn't it? Boron valence electron 3. Formal charge, calculation for the central atom boron, valence electron 3. How much electrons present as lone pair? 0. How much electrons present as bonded pair? 2, 4, 6, 8. So 8 by 2. Okay, minus 1. Right? So for boron, we calculate the formal charge, valence electron 3. It does not have any lone pair of electron, so Nl value is 0. Totally 8 electrons present around itself as 4 covalent bond. So that 8 electrons present as bonded pair of electron divided by 2. So 3 minus 4 minus 1. Next, what is the formal charge on this fluorine? What is the formal charge on this fluorine? As usual, fluorine has valence electron 7. Next, number of electrons present as lone pair. So only 4 electrons. 4 electrons present as lone pair of electron. 2 lone pair of electron. Then Nb represents number of electrons present as bonded pair. So 2 to 4, right? So 4 electrons present as bonded pair of electron, 2 covalent bond. So 7 minus 6, 1. What is the formal charge on this doubly bonded fluorine atom? Plus 1. This fluorine already we calculated here, the same only. 0, 0. So which will be the preferred structure? Which will be the preferred structure? So according to the guidelines, this will be the preferred structure. Why? Comparing these two, this structure is having 0 as a formal charge. All the atoms are having formal charge 0. But when you take this one, the more electronegative fluorine has a positive structure. Right? What is the general guideline? If a structure with negative formal charge on more electronegative atom, that will be the preferred structure. Comparing the boron, fluorine is more electronegative atom. If the fluorine has -1 means okay, preferred structure. But more electronegative fluorine has a positive value as a formal charge. So this is not the preferred structure, right? So in Lewis dot structure formula or Lewis structure derivation, to have 8 electrons around the boron, we shifted a pair of electron as a double bond, but the structure is not a preferable one. So which is the correct structure? This is the correct structure. But this is not obeying octet rule, right? So when we write boron trifluoride like this, all the 3 fluorine atoms are obeying octet rule, but central atom is electron diffusion in nature. It needs 2 more electrons to be stabilized. So to stabilize, if you move electron means formal charge value indicates this is not a preferable structure, right? So 2 more examples I have given in our book. They are boron trichloride, beryllium chloride, BeCl2, are examples of molecules with electron diffusion central atoms. They won't obey octet rule. Second one, certain molecules will have odd electron. So molecules with odd electron will not obey octet rule, right? Consider nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide. So these 2 molecules will not obey octet rule due to the presence of single electron, odd electron, right? Nitrogen as well as oxygen. But take nitric oxide, we may draw Lewis dot structure, right? So for nitric oxide, as usual, skeletal structure can be drawn. Then calculate total valence electron. Nitrogen valence electron 5, oxygen 6, totally 11. So for the molecule nitric oxide, this is skeletal structure. Total valence electrons 11. Then in the third step, we have to place electrons as a single covalent bond. So out of 11 electrons, 2 electrons placed as a single covalent bond. Remaining electrons will be placed on the atom. So first, the remaining electrons will be placed as lone pair of electron on more electronegative atom oxygen. So remaining we have what? 9 electron. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the arrangement, right? So in third step, we have to draw a single covalent bond. In fourth step, what we have to do? The remaining 9 electrons will be placed as lone pair of electron on the atoms. First, more electronegative oxygen, which is placed. Then remaining 3 electrons will be placed on nitrogen. And what about the stability? What about stability? Now, one pair of electron is shifted as double bond. Now the oxygen is stabilized. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oxygen is stabilized, but nitrogen is not stabilized. 2, 4, 6, 7. Right. So nitric oxide is a molecule which will not obey octet rule because it has odd electron, single electron, right? Odd number of electron present. So that which is not obeying octet rule, but this is stable based on formal charge. The same method you can adapt. How to calculate formal charge for nitrogen as well as oxygen? You may calculate formal charge. Formal charge value is 0 for both atoms. Right? You just calculate formal charge yourself. I don't take much time because I have completed already 2 examples. How to calculate formal charge for carbon dioxide as well as boron trifluoride. 2 compounds I have already completed. The calculation of formal charge over. For the remaining examples, you just calculate yourself. You try yourself how you are getting the formal charge value. So for nitric oxide, we draw the Lewis dot structure. First skeletal structure, calculation of valence electron as 11, 2 electrons utilized as a single covalent bond, remaining 9 electrons placed as lone pair of electron. To get 8 electrons around nitrogen, 1 lone pair of electron is shifted as double bond. And after shifting lone pair of electron as a double bond also, nitrogen is not stabilized, but oxygen is stabilized having 8 electrons, which is obeying octet rule. But due to the presence of odd electron, nitrogen is not obeying octet rule. But formal charge value is 0. So 0 formal charge represents what? This will be the preferred structure, right? Even though it is not obeying octet rule, this will be the preferred structure according to formal charge. The same method can be adopted for nitrogen dioxide also. Right. So in nitrogen dioxide, the same method can be adopted. So formal charge, this one. You just apply the concept, right? So as we discussed for nitric oxide and boron trifluoride, you may apply the same concept. First draw skeletal structure, calculate valence electrons, place a single bond, a single covalent bond, remaining electrons can be placed as lone pair of electron. At the last, check whether all the atoms are obeying octet rule or not. Then make a double bond by shifting the lone pair of electron. Finally, calculate the formal charge. So this is the preferred structure. Right? From the formal charge value, we have come to the conclusion that this is the preferred structure. How this will be the preferred structure for nitrogen dioxide? Because more electronegative oxygen has negative formal charge, right? So negative formal charge on oxygen atom indicates this is a preferred structure, but this nitrogen also has odd electron. So some molecules which will not obey octet rule. First type of molecules with electron diffusion central atom. Second, molecule with odd electron. So some atoms will have odd electron. They won't obey octet rule. Next one, molecules with extra valence cells, right? They will have extended valence cells. Examples: sulfur hexafluoride, phosphorus tetrachloride. All these are examples, right? So in this case, around the central atom, more than 8 electrons will be there. What about first case? Molecules with electron diffusion central atom. Boron has only 6 electrons, right? Number of electrons are lesser than 8. But in this case, for the central atom, sulfur and phosphorus, number of electrons will be more than 8. Around sulfur or phosphorus, number of electrons will be more than 8. How they are having more electrons means the electrons will occupy the empty d orbital, right? So first, which orbital will be filled? S orbital, then p orbital, then d orbital will be filled. So the excess electrons will fill the empty d orbital so that the valence cell is extending. So extended valence cell means usually electrons will fill s and p orbital, d orbital will be empty. So the excess electrons will occupy the empty d orbital. So valence shell is extending, right? So these are examples. Structures are given. Sulfur hexafluoride, right? So Lewis dot structure can be derived. For sulfur hexafluoride, Lewis dot structure can be derived. You just follow the same 5 steps. First, skeletal structure, calculation of valence electron, placing the electron as a single covalent bonder, placing the remaining electrons as lone pair of electron on more electronegative fluorine. At last, check all the atoms are obeying octet rule or not. If you have more than one possible structure, find formal charge. Based on the guidelines, fix the preferred structure. So these are general mechanism. For this sulfur hexafluoride also, you may draw the Lewis dot structure. So I give you as a homework. You just do yourself. Make skeletal structure, do the remaining 4 steps. Okay. So here, consider the central atom sulfur. Sulfur has how much electrons around it? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Totally 12 electrons present as bonded pair around sulfur. So this is not obeying octet rule, right? So this is the molecule in which central atom has extended valence shells. So which has more than 8 electrons around it. So which is not obeying octet rule. But this is the preferred structure based on what? Formal charge, right? Then in the same manner, phosphorus pentachloride. Calculate number of electrons around phosphorus. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So the phosphorus has totally 10 electrons around it. So which is not obeying the octet rule. But according to formal charge, this will be the preferred structure. So the full derivation is not given in the book, right? How will you derive Lewis dot structure for sulfur hexafluoride, phosphorus pentachloride? The formal charge calculation all have not given in your book. If you are willing, you just try yourself, right? Calculate total valence electron, then finally draw the Lewis dot structure, calculate formal charge, then you can say that the central atom has more than 8 electron, which is not obeying octet rule, but this is the preferred structure. So in today's class, we have discussed 2 important concepts. One is formal charge, another one is molecules which don't obey octet rule, right? So formal charge is used to identify a structure which is more favorable, right? So which will be the more preferred structure. If you have more than one Lewis dot structure, which will be the more preferred one, can be calculated. Next, some molecules which will not obey octet rule, but they are stable, which can be explained based on formal charge. So 2 concepts we have completed today. Tomorrow we start ionic bonding and bond parameters. Okay, thank you.